If you're trying to take your HVAC game to the next level, then buckle your seatbelt, crank up the volume, and try not to be offended. Because you're listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast with Gil Cavey and Kelly McKay. Now, here's Gil and Kelly.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Yes, I am here yet again, another Monday. Happy to have you guys here, man. Just got back from a trip. I am not by myself. I have a guest / host tonight, somebody familiar that you guys have talked to before, and it is going to be none other than Mr. Ryan Grimes. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. Happy to have you back on. Let me switch this so people can see both of our pretty faces.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Look at Ryan's at the office. So first, I'll start this by saying, real fast. Hold on, Ryan. Look, I'm getting used back to podcasting here. I need to do a little something. Hold on. The one that says, remember where the fuck these buttons are. Hold on a second. There we go. For my friends over. Look. Yeah, we'll do it later. Sorry. Things are popping up. Sponsorship real fast. I want to say thank you to our friends over at Yellow Jacket for staying strong through this whole time, this little mix up that we went through, not having shows, taking off. Yellow Jacket really has stuck by me from the beginning. They've been a sponsor since before we ever even recorded a podcast. So I want to say thank you to Yellow Jacket and what they do. Miss Bates, our representative over there, Mr. Gary, who's the vice president of marketing. They've been awesome to work with. Guys, if you are looking for any new tools, any new products, check Yellow Jacket out, man. They've been around 70 years making awesome shit. And they have a new, I'll put up to my camera. This little wireless vacuum gauge. This thing is really slick. I'm going to give this away. We'll talk about that at a later date, but I'm going to give this away. I've used one before. This thing is pretty badass, man. It's one of those small ones, and it's a half the price some of the competitors that are out there. So if you're looking for a new vacuum gauge, check out my friends over at Yellow Jacket. And remember, 70 years of expertise built into every tool. All right. Back to you, my man. Sorry about that.
It's all good. You threw me off a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. We got to talk to Yellow Jacket real quick.
Yeah, we got to pay the bills first.
Yeah.
So part of this podcast, we got to make up nicknames. Everybody's got nicknames. I want to be like fucking Gilly the Kid, Dub Chub, fucking Rockin' Chair Maker or something. I don't know.
I put, when you type your name in on the thing, I put cat named dog, but whatever.
Cat named Fish.
Yeah, cat named Fish. That's what it did.
Yeah. I saw it was like accept call from Cat named Fish. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that's funny. I guess first and foremost, we'll start talking about, man. First of all, thank you for, Service World Expo. But I would love to know like your thoughts. I mean, what did your first time there? What did you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, I was struggling to go between two events because there was two events going on at the time. I went to Service World, and that's what we chose. I did like it. I've been exposed to a lot of things just like Service World. When I was a Lennox dealer, I went to Lennox Live, and I basically feel like Lennox Live and Service World are pretty much almost to a T the exact same thing. You go in, you got your breakout sessions, you mingle, you talk, they feed you, you go out, you get drunk, you go home. You know what I mean?
You got drunk? I don't. Where was I? Oh, that's right. I was there. I forgot.
You woke up next to me. What do you mean? No.
Yeah. That was you.
You next to me, not me next to you.
Yeah.
Shit, have you ever seen the Jackie Chan Rush Hour where he's like, I am you and you are me?
Oh, yeah.
I want to whoop everybody's ass around here. I just love that anytime I get a chance. But anyway, no, I didn't wake up next to you at all, which was nice. Or anyone else, because I'm a loyal husband.
Yes, me as well. Me as well.
Yeah, we're good boys. We like to have fun, but we also like to be loyal. It's crazy. You can do both. But yeah, Service World was cool. I mean, going to the breakout sessions, being on the uncensored side of podcasts, which, you kind of said a lot in the weekend, is like uncensored is just your unfiltered opinion. It doesn't mean like be a dick, it just means give your unfiltered opinions. My unfiltered opinion about Service World is, depending on where you are in your journey and your career, you're going to rate it differently. And I think with me, I'm just going to rate it at like, I don't know, like the Service World Expo itself. If you're starting out or you're like trying to get some key things, it's definitely an A+. If you kind of are on our end of things and you're on like rapid growth mode, got a lot of things figured out, I think it's going to bump that grade down just a little bit. So that's my opinion on Service World, man.
No, I agree, man. And I got a lot from a lot of the classes, but there was some of them where I'm like, we know this, like, we've already went over this kind of stuff. And then part of me feels like, obviously we weren't a member of any of the affiliations there, like the Service Round Table or whatever it is, which people spoke highly of. So I'm not speaking bad about those organizations. I'm just saying that we're not a part of it. And then the other thing is I don't know if it was because of COVID. Some people said that it seemed like 80% vendors, 20% contractors, like almost everybody there was vendors.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a ton of vendors there. I mean, we went out and got drinks with the guys at Review Buzz the one night. Like I don't think I've ever gotten drinks with vendors before. We got drinks with Rhino before. The first night we were there. Usually that doesn't happen. Usually you're going out and you're hanging out with other contractors. And that's the most exciting part. But you're right. I think there wasn't a ton.
Yeah. I mean, and then, and I will say like, so they had things planned for us. Well, and as far as vendors, so this expo was nice. But if compared to like AHR, I mean, it's an infant. As far as the floor. So you guys that have been to AHR and you know how fucking massive that place is, this is on a smaller scale. And I also feel that Service World is more for owners, management, that kind of range, not so much for technicians. Like, I think if you're a technician, you would be better off going to something like an AHR than you would be going to Service World. I mean, how do you agree with that?
Yeah, even at Lennox Live, there's things for technician. At Service World, there is nothing for technicians. It is straight management owners.
Yeah, so I think that would have been a waste. And I think mostly everybody there was an owner management role if they weren't a vendor. But it was nice. I mean, they had some good breakout sessions. And to me, they were either really, really good, or I wanted to blow my fucking brains out. There really wasn't a happy medium. The one that I saw with Todd Lyles, manager in the middle, that was really, really good. I really liked that breakout session. And obviously it is good seeing some of the vendors, different people, being able to talk to like Ken Goodrich. Me and Ryan's met him before. I haven't. That was my first time being able to meet him. So first time in meeting some people was cool. So that part of it was really, really fun. And Louisville is a cool city. I mean, I guess
good.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, meeting Ken was fucking awesome. If you don't know who Ken Goodrich is, you're fucking living under a rock for sure. He owns a $165 million company. It could be bigger than that. I don't fucking know, but I know it's at least that size. And it's called Gettle. And he is just dominated from Texas over to California on buying companies, flipping them over. Great systems guy. He's got a lot of, if you type his name in podcast, he's on there. And I've learned a lot from him on the podcast. But this was the first time that I've been able to really talk to Ken. And that one fucking guy That one fucking guy, we were walking out of the place they were hosting us in, and the guy was like, "Oh, that's Ken Goodrich," and it was like, "Yeah, dude." Like he was got no fucking idea.
Yeah, he was like, I just took a piss with him and started talking to him. I'm like, you dope. Like,
yeah, you're fucking talking to probably the smartest mind in fucking air conditioning, and you're probably like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah." But that guy was kind of dope.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of line sets.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of line. Yeah, that guy was like, I was like, yeah, so how big are you guys? Oh, yeah, I bought a bunch of line sets. Like, is that what they told you to say at work?
Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah, man.
They looked him in the eyes and they were like, Tim, when you go to fucking Service World, any question, the answer is, I bought line sets.
That really...
It just revert back to, I bought a bunch of lines.
Yeah, he was a nice guy, but he definitely, when talking business, I was like, had a few questions there. But yeah, and the fact that Ken, like, it was awesome to meet him. Hopefully, we're trying to work out something. I'm going to get him on this podcast, which that'd be an honor to sit there and talk to him, because that's the kind of guy that when he talks, you take notes. And the fact that he's willing to help the little guy is pretty awesome. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys, like, they're doing what they're doing. They don't have to give a fuck about anybody else, you know? So that was definitely pretty awesome. You know, and then I guess before we move on to different people that we've talked to and stuff, so we got to do things afterwards, after the expo. So the first night, it was supposed to be like drinks and dinner at this mansion. Turned out to be like an awkward wedding reception at a car dealership. That was kind of goofy. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to talk shit about the expo, but that was kind of weird. The best part was, the free bourbon, but
Kentucky bourbon is nice.
Yeah, that was good. The free drinks, it was definitely awkward. We had more fun going out afterwards. Second night wasn't bad. It was at some cool little kind of theater, like where bands and stuff play. The ambiance was pretty cool. That was fun. And then Churchill Downs was, we went the last night. That was a good time. So the second two nights was good. They give you bus transportation and all that. But the first night was fucking weird. Everybody thought that was a little awkward.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you were like, yeah, dude, you were standing like 3 inches away from Tersh when you were talking to him. And I was like, oh, my bad.
Yeah, I was looking over. I'm like, are their noses going to touch? I'm like, should I put a hand and like separate them?
Yeah, but we leave room for Jesus.
I think you guys are just having a deep discussion.
I just wanted to fucking, like, I knew I'm sure the guy was fucking exhausted. So I was just like, let me get my fucking questions into him because I have a bunch. So
that's funny. I mean, and that's what's really awesome that I love about going to some of these different events is just the camaraderie of meeting different people. I've become good friends with Tersh Blissett, the host of the Service Business Mastery podcast. So me and him talk on a regular basis, and now his show has a co-host, Joshua. I think it's Crouch. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But meeting Joshua was cool. Finally getting to meet my buddy Everett, who I've talked to on the phone, who is the vice president of sales for a company called Supply Smart. He'll be on. I'll be talking to him probably tomorrow for a live show. And when you guys hear this, it'll be the day before. But just getting to meet different people. I finally got to meet Cristiano and some more of the Rhino team. Ryan's already known them and met them. I haven't. So finally being able to meet those people, meeting Paul Redman, who was with Rhino, is now with Contractor Commerce. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. And I like Contractor Commerce a lot. And we signed up for them. So we should be getting them underway soon.
Nice. Yeah. I saw some things online about it, and it definitely seems awesome. If you guys don't know what that is, shameless plug for our buddy Paul, go check that out. Contractor Commerce. I'm going to try to talk to him about maybe getting a link. I can try to send you guys there. But your customers are buying filters online from Home Depot and all these different sites. Get yourself an online store, a platform that your customers can go buy these things from you. So check that out. I don't want to sit here. I know that's the gist of it. Am I leaving something out?
No, well, they have a system builder too, where customers can buy systems from you. Well, they can't buy systems from you, but they can be like, if they know their information, they can go on there and, type it, and then it will send them a quote. And you don't have to, what's nice is you don't have to give them the full price. You can give them the financing price as well, which is probably what we'll start off doing. So if customer knows I have 2-ton, blah, 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 I will say, $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever it is.
Nice. Yeah. So cool. Definitely a cool feature. A lot of new companies down there, getting to talk to them, seeing the different reps. It was definitely a good time. So when Ryan said there was 2 different events going on, so it was either Service World in Kentucky or the True Grit Summit in Vegas, with Uncle Joe Casera and all those guys out there. So looking back on hindsight, do you wish you went to Vegas?
I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but I definitely wish I went to Vegas. I just felt like maybe going to Vegas was more our speed. And I don't know, because I wasn't there. Maybe we'd go there and came back and be like, fuck, should have went to Service World. But, you never know. So, but if they have True Grit again, I definitely would love to go. And then there's all, but really the deciding factor was like, oh, well, there's going to be another, event in Vegas in October, just like True Grit with the Service Hero. So I was like, well, I'll do Service World, check that out for once, and then do the one in Vegas if I can make it.
Yeah, I wish I could go. I can't. I'll have in-laws in town. My family will be here, and
Victor's like a fucking chihuahua on my fucking ankle about going, but I like the guy. I think he's going to put on a great show. It's just logistically, it's got to be able to work for me. One thing after another pops up. It's like, but if I can go, I'll go.
Yeah, well, not to mention your wife's pregnant, so it's that's kind of a hindrance.
I got a pregnancy. We were having a vacation around that time. And then that Friday is my nephew's last football game. And yes, there's a lot going on. So we'll see.
Yeah, I would definitely love to go. I mean, it's a dynamite fucking lineup they got going there. Even with all the hyped up drama. If you guys haven't seen the drama with the pull out. Gene Slade pulled out of the fucking thing. He's a piece of shit. He says Victor's a piece of shit. I'll leave it at this. I respect both of the guys, in my own way. I talk to both of them, so I don't ever get in the middle of that stuff. So regardless, Gene has some kind of a event also. Both of them are going to be coming on the podcast soon. Me and Victor have some things that we're going to announce that we are doing together. So yeah, it's going to be fine regardless. But it was cool to see Mr. Ishmael's going to be there at that event. Oh, it was cool to finally, Ryan was on a hiatus that day. So, but it was cool to finally meet Ish. That was cool. Because normally if you're not in Cali, and when we were out there, we were at Victor's thing. So pretty sure I wasn't going to meet him then, or we weren't going to meet him then. Yeah.
Yeah. So from Service World, the things I wrote down that I learned is, you can do a team lead if you have, a manager can handle, 7 to 8. This guy said he has his manager handle 7 to 8 technicians. I usually hear that one manager handles 10 guys. But what I like is he said for every 5 guys, there's a team lead. So I like that aspect of it. I definitely think we could implement something like that. It's not like we have a ton of guys, but we could definitely do a team lead thing. The different schools, the Arkansas school, the school in fucking Texas, and just like who's it for and what they'll do. I've heard good things about both schools from multiple people, depending on who you're trying to send. A fucking green person or a person coming out of like a tech school that worked with you for a summer. I got down, you'll never hear somebody go out of business for charging too much. You only hear them going out of business for charging too little. There's a hotel that gives their employees X amount to make customers happy. I really like the fucking mini split tool that I've seen in part houses. I just don't fucking understand it. But in part houses and some of the counters, you'll see like these white line sets, and they got these fucking colored things going through the white line sets, and I didn't understand what it was. But if you see that in a hard house, they got these fucking like hard, they're flexible plastic, but you shove it in the line set, you bend your mini split line set as much as you need to bend it, and then you pull the fucking plastic back out, and you know for a fact that you don't have a kink anywhere. So I really fucking like that. And I saw that at the thing. They're
reusable, right? Or do you have to buy them? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. And they do them all the different sizes too. So, yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. You know, you got one fucking kink and, you know, there's a little bit not kinked and you don't notice it until it's fucking hot or cold. I think it's worth it.
Yeah. And especially because some of those line sets are smaller, people think they can, they think they can just bend the shit out of it sometimes and don't realize they're kinking it until it's too late. So yeah, no, I did like that.
Yeah, I'll never forget the fucking install I did with Steve, probably like a year and a half ago. He was doing an AC coil change up by himself, and I just wanted to go there to help him put the condenser around the side of the house. And the condenser was only like 8 years old, but it only had a 5-year warranty on it. And I was like, dude, this thing's not fucking right. Why is this thing not, it's only 8 years old. And I fucking put the Robotex all the way off to the top of the house, and it was kinked like a motherfucker right there. And then Steve was like, there's no fucking way you're raising something on like that. I was like, Steve, this ain't my first fucking day, bro.
Come on, kid. I got this shit.
Yeah. So I only know because I fucked it up before.
Hey, before you go on, funny story. Remember when I texted you today and I said, hey, did you give Steve permission to be in his van?
Yeah.
So I text him. I'm like, hey, buddy, what's going on? I see your van's moving. Nothing. You can see when somebody's texting, like he's trying to think of what to say. And then he goes, I'm not moving. I was just testing something out. And then 2 seconds later, Steve's van ended. I was like, all right, buddy, no worries, man. If you need your van, just let me know. It was just funny that it started. All of a sudden he gets a text and then it's like, whoop, Steve van ended.
That is funny. Yeah, what the fuck are you testing on Saturday? And then the last thing, other than fucking a ton of books, because I'm a book junkie, I got a ton of books written down, but I do like, and I believe Tersh told me this, but when their technician does, maximum 4 calls, and then their 5th call, even if they're not on call, their 5th call is an emergency call. And I really like that.
Yeah, I did too.
So I think we're definitely going to implement that for the guys as well.
Yes. Yeah, and that's one of the great parts about these expo is being able to meet different people and make friends. Like, guys, we're always learning things, whether it's technical, whether you're a tech learning new tricks to help you in the field, whether you're a manager, a business owner, learning and going over things with other owners and having somebody to call and bounce things off of. Like, that kind of stuff is priceless, man. It really is. So that's what's really cool to meet these, doing the podcast. I've been able to talk to a lot of people, through a live stream or through a podcast or a phone call, but to meet somebody in person just kind of makes that relationship a little different. So that is cool. So just so you guys know, like we said, upcoming events that I know I will be at is going to be AHR in Las Vegas, which I want to say is January 21st, 25th. I'll Google it real fast. AHR Expo. And that's awesome because we get to, we can podcast live there and stuff like that. They do an awesome job as far as what they do for influencers and stuff like that. But it is January 31st to February 2nd. So, sorry. I
was like,
yeah, it came up on my screen. So that's why I was like, ding, ding. I'm definitely going to,
yeah. And I will be at, potentially I'm having a baby in January. So if it comes on time or early, I will most likely be at Rhino X. I still have to buy my ticket, but that's a cool event. Rhino X is held by Rhino Strategic Solutions, the marketing company that we use, and they're a partner with Gary Vee. And I went last year, or this year technically, and I got to meet Gary Vee. I got to have like a 15-minute conversation with the guy, and that was really fucking cool. If you don't know who Gary Vee is, look up his name, and the second you see his picture, you'll be like, oh yeah, I fucking know that guy.
Yeah.
And it was just really cool to be able to, see and meet Gary Vee. And then at that event, Rhino X event, you have Leland Smith, you have Ken Haynes, Ken Goodrich, and the owner of Horizon, Dave. Forgot his last name.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Yeah, I'm a piece of shit. But
yes, you are.
David Greer. Shit, David Greer. That's his name. They will all be there, and it's kind of cool to be able to rub shoulders with that guy. I mean, I'm not going to lie. The first time I went there, at the time, Beltway I went myself, and the year prior I did 1.4 million in revenue. This year we're landing at 4 strong, but I was the smallest guy in the room as far as revenue. And that never ever gets to me. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we all put our pants on the same way and stuff like that. But like, these guys are on just such another fucking mental level that I was just kind of like sitting there trying to absorb it all, And I did, and I said hi to Ken, and I got his phone number, and that was cool. But I never really went further than that. I just wanted to sit and listen. And I think I'm probably going to continue to sit and fucking listen for at least one more year. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, when those guys talk about things, like, they drop little nuggets that maybe they don't think are important because they're so much further or above that. I don't want to say above that because that makes them sound pretentious, but they're just on another level. Let me say that. But when you hear it, you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. So it's definitely cool. And obviously there's the Service Hero 10X event in Vegas, if anybody is going to go to that. So that can be for technicians, owners. So that's really open to anybody. It's not cheap, but I think it's a killer lineup. So check out that. Just to be fair, Gene Slade does have I think it's Fort Myers, Florida, October 15th to the 17th, has a training class. That is definitely for technician-based people. I know it revolves around IAQ, stuff like that. And Gene really does do a killer job. I know some people feel some type of way about Gene and stuff like that, but I will give the man credit where credit is due. And when it comes to the IAQ realm, he is an absolute murderer on that. His process is proven, it works. So definitely check that out. And then after that, I think it is AHR, and then you're starting to go into 2022 from there.
Yeah, it's AHRI and the Rhino X, and then probably Linux Live will be the next one after that if they do what they're supposed to do it in Vegas the last go around, but we'll see what they do this go around. I don't know if we'll be fucking invited, because we've been going with Goodman so strongly, but whatever.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not selling Linux hard fucking core, I mean, I would still like to go to Linux Live because I do learn a shit ton.
Yeah, they have gave us the big fuck you.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, we're not selling you fucking shit. And we're like, all right, well, I'm not buying your fucking shit.
Yeah, and that's another thing, talking about, brands and shit like that, man. I'm the first one to eat crow. Ryan knows when I came here, man, I have been a Carrier guy fucking through and through for a long time. I've always dealt with Carrier or Bryant, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I mean, I'm not even going to lie. It doesn't matter. We've been selling the fuck out of Goodman. The systems have been fine. Any issues we've had, to be honest, well, I take that. I take most of them have been, we've had maybe an installation error or something was done wrong. Just here recently, with the equipment scarce, I think that some things are going through, the the quality control process a little too fast, but that's not just Goodman. That's everybody. You know what I mean? So that's not a Goodman problem. That's a manufacturing issue. People trying to catch up, get shit out, and they're just letting that shit go through the pipeline like this. But yeah, it's definitely good.
Yeah, I think when we switched over to Goodman, I think that we had a problem because our guys didn't know how to service or install them well. And the 1416 SEER single stage stuff is real fucking easy. But when you get into the higher efficiency 2-stage or even inverter, you have to know how to fucking work on this shit. I don't care if it's Goodman, Carrier, Lennox, Trane. You kind of have to be trained. And there is a little bit of comfortability and trial and error when it comes to those things. Because, Goodman's got to be right on the fucking money when it's charged. It's not, like, I will say with, like, the Lennox product, Lennox, you don't have to be on the money. Like, you can, pop fucking charge, and most of the time, you're fucking good. Like, it's real fucking lenient. Goodman 2-stage stuff, fuck no. You better be right fucking there. I think it's fucking 7-8 superheat. I don't fucking know, but
yeah. Well, yeah, they all have I agree 100%. They all have their own little nuances. And like Carrier wasn't that bad because of all the stuff being in the thermostat. It would go out and find it. As long as it found it, you were pretty much ready to rock and roll. The fucking thing would do it itself. We found with the Goodman stuff, either going through the app or you have to let that stuff run for literally 30 minutes. Because you'll look at your charge and you're like, oh, it looks good. Looks good. 14 minutes, 15 minutes. You get to that 30 plus minute mark and you're like, oh, what the fuck happened? Like everything was good. And then all of a sudden it finally starts to show you. And normally they want you to have a 7 to 9 superheat. Once you have that, then they want you to get a 7 to 9 subcooling or 5 to 7 or something like that. It's in that range. Ryan was right. So it's definitely different. That's knowing your product, what you put in. That's more important than the product that you sell. Like I always tell people, man, it's, Goodman treats us phenomenal. If we need something, they find it. If there's an issue, they make it right. That is what's most important. You guys out there, and a lot of times it's technicians that get held up on brands, not so much the owners of the company. I would never work on that. Well, no, you'll work on whatever the fuck your owner sends you out to, whatever the call says, or whatever he decides he's putting in. I've never heard of somebody quitting a company because they're like, I can't work on this Goodman stuff. Look, what are you talking about? That's idiotic.
I'm telling you right fucking now, man, our warranty, like, you look at the fucking back in the warranty, section we have. Yeah, there's Goodman in there, but it's not shit we installed. You know what I mean? It's shit other people installed. But I will tell you one thing, the shit we've installed with other brands, I'm not, and it's not just one or the other. It's a couple, but like coils popping like a motherfucker. I've never had that problem with Goodman. I've had the same amount of compressors go up from one brand to another. Surges down the line, fuck ups here and there, whatever it may be. Same thing there. But as far as like actual fucking headaches, not so much on Goodman, and that's the biggest thing is, okay, now we know how to install this product. It's given us less headaches. The warranty department is, less laborsome. And plus with Goodman, if you're like, yo, I need this fucking unit changed, they're like, yeah, sure, here's a new one. There's zero paperwork you have to fill out. Oh my gosh, with some of these manufacturers and their paperwork, we're a fucking warranty compressor. And Goodman's like, here's a whole new unit, Yeah. So they take care of me. They take care of the customer. They're putting up the 10-year labor warranty. How am I going to compete with that? Like as an owner, if they're saying we're paying for the 10-year labor warranty and it doesn't matter if you go out or someone else goes out, there's zero risk to me. And now instead of going on a warranty call and I have to pay for it, they're paying for it.
Yeah, you can't beat it. It really is a no-brainer. And like you said, most of the issues that we have, because guys, we don't sell a lot of 14, 16 SEER. Well, not a lot of 14. It happens, especially with the struggle of getting stuff, but we were selling a lot of 16 SEER 2-stage, 18 SEER inverters, 20 SEER inverters. So we were selling a lot of the higher end stuff. So once we got properly trained on that and everybody knew what they were doing, we were good to go. So.
Yeah, and this is something that needs to be said and listened to. I installed we did an 18 SEER inverter in one of our customers' houses. The dude goes to my church and he was like when the doors open, we're about to leave, he like ran across the parking lot and said, "Ryan, I love my new system. It's everything it's cooked up to be. My bills are so much lower and I don't even hear the thing run. I love it." And I'm like, "Good, man. That's fucking great." You know, but
he's the guy I found by the dumpster, and he's like, "I got a $15,000 check for you." I'm like, "Where the hell did you come from?"
And that was the rest of his fucking payment. He only put a couple grand down. So, yeah, I mean. You'll never install a high efficiency piece of equipment and a customer call you back and say, "This thing didn't save me money," or "This thing's a piece of shit," or "This thing's loud." Like, so many customers love the high efficiency. And Gil, that's something you brought here, because before you were here, we were slinging the 14 and 16 SEER stuff. I was like in such a mentality of like, man, fuck that shit. It's more things to break. What else would I say? Is like, well, yeah, I didn't know how to fix the more things that work, was one thing. And it's like, it doesn't actually save you money. You get your money back in so many years, and I'm telling you, customers love it, and we're sell the fuck out of it. So it's obviously working.
Yeah, it's, and I've had those systems. So I've always been big that I won't sell something that I have not used. Like when it comes to IAQ systems, I tried to use them, my own family, as a guinea pig. I appreciate you saying that too, buddy. But when I would sell that stuff or bring it up to customers, I would never bring up the saying it's going to like make your bill cheaper, because a lot of that depends on ductwork and different things like that. But if you just ask customer questions like some of the ones he just said, comfortable, humidity control, the fact that it's quiet, and do all that, it's going to cost you the same or less than what that old cheap one's using. Or something like that. And then after they put it in and then they see their energy bill get low, that's like icing on the cake. That just kind of, adds a little bit to it. Because I've seen some people just go too far where they try to sell them and they say, this thing's going to reduce your bill, by 50%. And you start throwing numbers like that, you got to be careful, because if that doesn't happen and that was the selling point for the customer, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So I would be careful saying that. I would just sell it on the high efficiency, what it does, the comfortability factor, the dehumidifying, stuff like that. And then let that be extra. Also, don't get caught up on dehumidifying while I'm saying it. Remember, even inverters, yes, they do dehumidify, but they will always be air conditioners first. Okay. That is their job. So if you have a house that has a legitimate humidity problem, maybe you need to add a whole home dehumidifier into it and add that inverter. All right. One of our guys, before he was here, got caught up on that. Sold a lady a Carrier Infinity system, and oh man, this is going to take care of your humidity problem. This is it. Well, that humidity was bad enough that thing couldn't answer. She bought a $20,000 system, still had a humidity problem. She was pissed, and I can't say that I blame her. Then we had to put in a whole home dehumidifier for goose egg, so just something to think about. A little tip, something that I've learned from fucking up in the past that hopefully you guys don't have to. So
yeah, and on a lot of times on the humidity problems too, like look at why do I have a humidity problem, right? It's not, there's humidity in the house, let me go take care of it. Like let's look a little further than that. Is there water coming in? Was there water coming in at one point? Things got moldy and musty and they just never went away. I've had that happen to me before. But every single time that a customer is like, hey, it's humid or it's damp or it fucking feels gross down here. And the very first thing, I'm not looking for air movement. I'm going outside and I'm looking at the grading. I'm looking at their gutters. When's the last time your gutters were cleaned? When's the last time you had proper grading done? And we'll fucking go on the side of the house and there's like a ditch right there, in the exact room that we're talking about. And you're like, yeah, you're good. Water gets right through those concrete cinder blocks and it's seeping right through. So maybe the solution is we put a little bit of dirt right here and then you hire a handyman to put some dry lock on your wall. Once you get that done, then call me. And that, instead of letting a customer have, potential mold problems forever and you're combating it with a whole house dehumidifier, let's just find the source of the problem.
Sorry, I muted it to burp and drink and forgot to unmute it. And that's something we'll get into. I mean, I'm not going to take this too long, and we don't want to beat a dead horse on the Service World Expo, but something that I hear from a lot of people that is, some of the comments that I see on different things about, I'm not a salesman, I fix things. And, I don't need to take these sales classes because I'm not a salesman. Guys and gals, I got news for you, okay? None of us are salesmen. And I understand, but you have to stop. And you guys have heard me say this in podcasts before. You've heard me and Kelly say it when we were still together. But times are changing. And you're either going to be in or you're going to be out. It's going to be really, really that simple. And we're not saying that you guys that are fixers shouldn't be fixers and that we don't want things fixed. What we're trying to say is, guys, it is all about following systems or processes. It is about being thorough. Okay. When it comes to customers, time equals perceived value. Okay. Everybody's getting ready to get hot and heavy into tune-up season. All right. If you're in a customer's house for fucking 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and you go up and you say something's wrong, or you say everything looks good, Mrs. Smith, and you go back out in the spring and do the same thing, guess what? They're not renewing that service contract. Okay. So now you don't have customer retention. It's great to sell service contracts, but if you can't retain them, it's for nothing. It's a vicious cycle we get in. Okay. The other part is if you go out there and you do find something wrong, you have built no value with that customer. None at all. You've built no value. You're going to go up there and be like, hey, I found this part needs to be replaced, and it's a crapshoot. They might do it. They might not do it. But if you're down there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, being thorough, taking your time, not telling you to poke holes in shit, not telling you to be dishonest, taking things apart, actually cleaning it, getting the customer involved, explaining the processes to them, that is going to go a long way because 99.9% of the companies in your area are not fucking doing that. And I'm sorry, the best thing a customer can ever say to you is, no one's ever done that before. Boom. You got them. There you go. Then you give them your honest report on what you found. Okay. If you have a picture that's on a shitty picture on your phone of a heat exchanger being cracked, chances of trying to sell it, they're going to be like, but if you show it to them, you're honest, you're showing them everything. If you have to clean something, a coil, hey, I found this coil's dirty. Here, Mrs. Smith, I want to show it to you. That's what people are talking about. That's what these programs are teaching in a nutshell. What about that is dishonest? What about that makes you a salesman? All right. So when you guys say that, oh, they're just dirty salesmen, think about what you're saying because you guys are making yourself sound stupid. So if you can be good at customer relations and be awesome as a technician, that's the ultimate tech. Christ, we'd be fucking sucking wieners to get those to come in the door, man. I mean, as a business owner, is that not the ultimate tech?
Yeah, I want clean cut guys that are willing to, the system we have is a particular system that can be frustrating to some, you know what I mean? And especially to the guy that's like, I want to fix it and leave, it's just like, no, we have the system where we want to, we want you to spend your time and stuff like that. My ultimate dream as an owner is for everyone to work less and we make more fucking money. Doesn't that sound like a fucking great equation? Doesn't that make a lot of sense?
Amen.
But it's hard to get to that point because you know, and mainly talking about Beltway here, but just getting over that hump of like, hey guys, I need you to see this. I can't just be like, hey, this week we're just going to let everybody run 2 calls today. And out of those 2 calls, you got to generate revenue. I want you to stay at the house for a long time. I want you to do this, you know, and let's say it's 2 or 3. It's still less than doing 5, 6, you know, and it's like, all right, well, I would love to be able to give you 3 calls. Out of those 3 calls, you do a system sale or you get your average tickets about, you know, around $1,500, $1,200 in an honest way, you know, and I think we do a great job of teaching our guys an honest way on how to do things. And just like, let's ride with that, you know, use your mind and your mouth a little bit more than your hands. Or you can run your fucking tune-ups. You can do 6 in a day, try to get them all done by 3:00 and go home feeling exhausted. Your wrist kind of fucking hurts and nobody made any money. And we're fucking sitting there like, oh, I don't know why we can't have races or nicer events. Well, you know, I have a solution here.
Yeah. So for one, you have to trust in your management and your ownership, you know, that they're putting you in a position to be successful, which me, Ryan, and our leadership team, Amanda, work tirelessly to put these guys and gals in, you know, good situations to be successful for themselves and the company. You know, and the other thing is you got to have some accountability for yourself and not be lazy. So when I make that comment, perceive time, doesn't mean go sit in the basement and fucking, you know, play tiddlywinks for a fucking hour. It's being thorough and doing what you have to do.
Yeah, because, you know, if you're thorough, that means you're being honest. You know what I mean? And that's what we really want. And if you go in the basement and you come back upstairs with a picture of a cracked heat exchanger, the customer's going to be like, man, fuck you. You know, get the fuck out of my house. Yeah. You know, so there's so many pieces to the puzzle. But if you can get over this mind fuck of like, I would say have confidence in yourself. Have confidence in yourself that you can make money. If like, let's say something bad happened and I lost everything, Beltway, I mean, all the vans, trucks, finances, I lost everything and I had to go get a job tomorrow, I would 110% demand that job pay me commission only. And it'd be a high commission, but you're only paying me commission because I believe more in myself than I do the other, you know, the person I might be working for. And I mean, that's something straight out of Grant Cardone's book, but damn, is he not right when you just have to have confidence in yourself and have a nice process that's well thought out. You will work less and make more money.
Yeah. So many of you guys out there, you say you're hungry, you know, you say these things you want, but do you? Okay. Because times are changing. The days of, you know, I want to make $45 an hour. I want to get my 8 and be done. Hey, that's fine. If that's what you want to do.
Work for the union if you want to do that.
Exactly. Get scale pay.
I have 2 hours to work every fucking day.
Yeah, but there's these 18-year-old kids out there that got taught a system and they don't know anything else. They follow it to a T. They're being honest. They're out there making, you know, 14, 15 bucks an hour, 10+% commission, and they're making a killing. These kids are going home making more than their fucking parents. People are cleaning up and telling you there's nothing dishonest about it. Nothing. Forgot which camera I was looking into. There's nothing dishonest about it. I promise you. Dude, me and Ryan have went to some of these different classes. We've looked into different things before we would ever implement it on our team. It's legit. Okay. I was one of the ones that was proven wrong. I thought that we were going to learn some shady, fucked up shit, and it was nothing of the sort. None of that. So all I ask is some of you take like kind of how I say when you're running a service call, take the blinders off. Take the blinders off. Don't get stuck in a mindset and you fuck yourself from being successful and getting and achieving things in your life that, you know, you could possibly have and you're not doing anything different. You're doing the same thing you're doing now, but maybe working a little less, making twice as much money. So just something to think about. So we'll probably, so, and if anybody wants to email me, my email is Ryan, RYAN, at beltwayhvac.com. If you're sitting there like, I want to be a better technician, but I simply just don't know how, and you live in Maryland, come work for me. If you're sitting there and you're like, I want to be a better technician, I would love to be thorough, but I just don't know how, or I'd love to be able to sell, make more money, and I just don't know how, email me. I'll work with you. I'll be happy to work with you. And if you give me your boss's email, I'll tell that motherfucker, hey, man, this is what's possible. I mean, we had, 6 different companies visit us in the last 2 months. I mean, yeah. Not that we're fucking amazing or doing something revolutionary or whatever, but we'll get into that on the next one. Yeah, we'll talk about different things. There's just a lot of things that we've implemented that makes Beltway desirable. So, I mean, I'll just leave it at that. But but yeah, everything is a trial run, man. You can't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. And whether you're a business owner, a manager, a technician, an installer, I think it happens too much. Guys get stuck in these horrible fucking ruts, and they're so afraid to break that cycle that they just never stop. So we're getting at about an hour, so I don't want to beat this dead horse. So we're probably going to end this. We do have some great guests coming up. So I don't have the dates totally set yet, but we do have Victor Rancor is going to come on, Coral Whale, Gene Slade, trying to set up something with Mr. Ken Goodrich, Mr. Paul Redmond, formerly of Rhino Strategic Solutions, now with Contractor Commerce. Let's see. Mr. Lance from Solderwell. I mean, I could sit here and go on. So there's a ton of people that are going to come on as guests on the podcast. So we have awesome guests going to come on. The other thing is, remember, I want to listen to some of you guys too. I mean, talking to these guys that are, leaders in their field and their industry and stuff like that. I love talking to them. Don't get me wrong. I love the wealth of knowledge they bring and being able to pass it on to you guys, and we all get better because of it. But I also like talking to you, the technicians out there. I would love to hear some of your stories. If you have a story to tell, please reach out to me, HVACuncensored@gmail.com, or you can find me in some of the Facebook groups, my Facebook group, HVAC Uncensored Nation. If you were in the old one, remember to go into the new one and join that one, because the other one is officially shut down. It's not coming back. Wah. But I lost my train of thought. But thank you, buddy, for coming on as always. I appreciate you. So Ryan's going to be on the podcast, a guest. He's going to come on and help me be a guest host sometimes. So Ryan will be on a lot more. So I thank you for coming on, buddy. Thank you for leaving your house and going into the office, even though it's like fucking 2 minutes away.
It was an hour fucking drive, and it was nuts.
Had to go up hills both ways.
I had to go hills both ways.
Hey, I'm the one who lives in fucking the Rocky Mountains over here. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a hill getting to my house. That is no fucking joke. Ryan went to drop me off or pick me up, and he was like, God damn, that hill's fucking crazy. Yeah. But yes, thank you all, man. I appreciate you. Guys, what I would really love to ask you to do me a favor is please try to go follow me on all of our social media sites, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, download the podcast on Apple, Spotify, whatever, because it's scary what happened with Facebook. I got so built in with Facebook. Our group got up to 60, 70,000 members, which was awesome, but it got taken away, like that. So I want to make sure that I can get in touch with you guys. I can get in contact with you. A lot of you are putting your emails in when you join the group. I am going to put that email into a database that I'm going to keep. And all those people who gave emails are going to get early access to podcast, videos, stuff like that. But I'll talk about that in another show when I get all the kinks worked out, because it might be like one of those like subscribe star Patreon things where I just, let you guys come in there. But yes, so please go do that. I want to make sure I don't lose contact with you guys if, God forbid, one of these Nazi social media giants decides to shut something down or take something off or whatever it happens to be. So, once again, thank you, Ryan, for coming on. Appreciate you, buddy, as always. All of you, man, remember, be safe out there. Always make it home the same way you left. All right. We always got somebody to come home to, somebody that loves us out there. Remember to always set yourself apart, man. Do the fucking little things the next guy's not doing. Don't sit there and bitch about something. My life's not doing this. My life's not doing that. Nobody can change it but you. All right. Remember, I'm always here to help. If I can help you in any way, please hit me up. And until next week, I'll talk with you mofos later. All right. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.